Oh, that's tough. Am I doing it right? Oh, ha, helps if you turn it the right way. Okay. Welcome to today's episode, something a little different this time. This weird contraption you see before you is some kind of a clock. At least this part is the workings of a clock. The rest of it is some kind of cobbled together nonsense. You can see here at the bottom it's a piece of laminate flooring and some through bolts with clamps welded to them. And then, yeah, like someone went to a lot of trouble, even drilling out the bottom here like a pro. And yeah, you can see this part here is a paint stir stick, expertly attached. Some pieces of 1x4 here, and then the clock assembly itself. Untested at this point, but it has the winding points and what I assume is for the alarm portion. I'm not too sure. What I'm going to do is take the clock portion off, and this can just be put aside for now, but this is what we're going to have a look at in a moment. First we need a work mat. This was kindly donated by Sybil from Shoreline Studio. Her channel is Painterly03. Has all kinds of funky marks on it. All the better as far as I'm concerned. I really have to shake my head about this contraption. This came from the reuse center where a lot of my cool finds come from. It looks like there's supposed to be more to it. I don't know, like you can see on here all these screw marks, like it had other things attached to it, or you know, it could also be that they just use whatever piece of wood they had lying around. So I guess we'll never know. But it's coming off of here. Let's see if we can detach it without breaking too much. We'll carefully put it that way. There we go. Get this out of the way. All right, here we have it. The clock portion of that monstrosity. Now you may be thinking, why am I talking about a weird old clock on my channel? Well, there's a bit of a story behind that. When I was a kid, I used to like going to the thrift shops, op shops we called them in Australia. I'd often come home with a metal alarm clock and then proceed to take the back off it so that I could look at all the windings and whatever. That aside, I just like the sound of these things, and I thought with this one, if we can get it going, it'd be interesting to try it with some resonators and see what kind of sounds we can come up with. I'm not too sure about this part, the clangers, or whatever you want to call them, strikers. They look a bit bent out of shape for a start, but they obviously were designed to hit something, kind of a bell or who knows what, but that has some possibilities too if we can work out how to set this thing. But let's just see that it even works for a start. Oh, it's leaving some schmutz on the table here. We have the mat. We need these because we're missing the keys. It looks to me like this spring is already wound, so I'm not going to touch this one just now. And I'm only going to give this one a little bit because once we get this going, it's not likely to stop anytime soon unless we just give it a tiny bit of tension. Anti-clockwise. All right, we'll just give it a little bit, as I said. And well, I went and found some gloves because this is kind of oily. Now, I've managed to get it working. One of these was just a little bent, the shaft of that cog there. It doesn't want to work when it's oriented that way, so you turn it up this way and it works fine. as you can see. Now it doesn't make like ticky-tocky noises like I thought it might. It's actually quite quiet. Put this close to the mic. You should hear those gears. This black stuff, by the way, is coming off these little grommets here. They're falling apart, becoming brittle. And see, there you go. We don't really need them anyway, so let's get them off of there. You may remember this from an earlier episode, episode 7, I believe. The SpringJo, as Dee christened it. Just one of my spring contraptions, and we have a Quality Street tin for the Resonator. It sounds like this. And yeah, so let's try sitting the clock on this and see how it sounds. Quite interesting. Let's see if we can do a better job of that. Go handheld with the microphone. All right. So this is an aluminium spool, cable spool. It used to have, what did it have on there? Some cables at any rate. And I've used this as a percussion instrument. It's quite a funky little thing. Let's see how it sounds as a resonator. Right in the middle for starters. Cool, I can hear a kind of airy sound of this vibrating. Let's try right on the edge. Not as interesting, if I'm honest. What about this way up? I like that, it's kind of satisfying. A bit like rain on a tin roof. Point the microphone at the, there's a hole in the center here. And I'm just going to have to balance it. Alright, so that was the aluminium spool. Now I'm kind of interested in the strikers. This thing is still a mystery to me as far as how the alarm portion of the mechanism works. Alright, we're back and I've rigged up this crazy contraption. I don't know if it's any crazier than what it was attached to before, but anyway, I worked out that these hammers, basically they work when the clock is in this position. I'm still not sure why it has to be the other way up to actually run, but it's something to do with this little guy here. Now, there could be a missing part, which is quite likely, because when you lift this, not only does it run, but it runs the clangers, or the strikers, or whatever you want to call those. So I've got these chimes here. They work something like this. Yeah, that one's not very good, is it? Let's see if we can get this to work. Right about there. All right, here we go. That's pretty cool, actually. I'm going to zoom in for you. So I guess there are some possibilities there. At any rate, that was kind of fun to experiment with. I have one more resonator that I've been saving. So let's undo all this nonsense. So this tin was reserved for a project, but we can use it today for the experiment. First, let's try setting the clock on the top as before. Not that interesting. Okay, let's try this again. We have the clock in the tin, merrily running away. Put the lid on here. I've got my contact mic taped to the top. No guarantees it's going to work. It usually likes a clamp rather than tape, but let's try it here. Yes, it worked for a little bit there. Alright, one final experiment is to attach to the clock itself, probably about there. Okay, this is pretty touchy, but I got it to work, so let's get it running again. Alright, so that's about the end of our experimentation with this for today. I'm going to keep this around. Who knows, maybe one day it'll become some kind of clockwork instrument. I'd like to build something to hold it that's a little less janky than that thing I showed you at the beginning. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for watching.